Hello, good afternoon everybody, welcome to Stranded Sailors Wines. Today we got this beautiful batch of Muscadine Blush. This is a false wine, it's made out of the pulp, second running of the Muscadine Red. It's kind of a free wine, if you will. I'm going to take the airlock out. We're going to do some bottling. I'm going to share the bottling process. I'm going to take my top off. Hope everybody's doing wonderful this evening. We have had a little bit of springtime, but today it's a little bit cooler. Thought I'd share a little bit of the bottling process, the way I do it. You want to go about a 1/4 inch up in the neck. Now this blush, you'll see it's not as dark as the red wine is. It's a lot lighter. It's a very pretty color. Got a wonderful smell. It's 15% alcohol. The corks are soaking in star sand. Voila, there's a bottle. But look at how pretty and light color that is. Now I've got some labels. We're just using winemaker labels. Now there's a seam on these bottles. I got a towel laying here. You roll the bottle to make sure the bottle's nice and dry. You want to find the seam. Put the seam on the side. Take your label. You want to go about 2 or 3 inches up. Center the label. Come right down the center of the label. Go left and go right. There's your bottle. Ain't that pretty? There's one bottle. And I do have a glass here, but it's been sitting in the freezer. It's kind of froze. But I'll show you how clear it is once it thaws out. Now this was made on New Year's, so we're at the end of March now, so this has been setting for 3 months. It has a very wonderful taste. And to make a false wine, if you're running your the pulps through the second time, you use about 1.5 the amount of sugar that you use on a regular batch of wine, because after the first running, the natural sugars in the fruits is gone. So that way you got to use an extra amount of sugar to make up for what's being used out of the fruit. And after this, I have a Muscadine Blanc. And that will be the last batch of the 22. The fruits from last year will be the last batch of 22. And it's also a pulp wine. It's made out of the scuppernong pulps, but it'll be a lighter color than the scuppernong. That's why it's called a Blanc. It's a very simple process though, it just takes a little bit of time. Now I'm not putting the foil wrappers on now. I'll do that at a different time, but there you go. Don't that look like a very professional bottle. Beautiful Muscadine Blush. This wine goes good with pizza, a spaghetti or a lasagna, a steak or a hamburger, something like that. Red wines are good with your red meats and stuff. Your white wines are good for like chicken and pasta, pork, such as that. Fish. White wines are good for stuff like that. Very good dinner wine, though. It's also good for people that's got high blood pressure. Well, I was wanting to show everybody how clear that glass of wine was, but I put it in the freezer earlier this afternoon, and I don't know if it's going to thaw out. I didn't want to do the whole video on the bottling, but I guess I can. We got time. Chief, are you going to come in and say hey to the video? Now, I can't touch you. My hands are clean, buddy. Come in and say hey to the video, buddy. I can't touch you, though. So I'll get in the video. You going to get in the video? Okay. Say hey to everybody, Mr. Chief. Tell them, say, I like to be in the video. You like to be in the video? You my buddy, ain't you? Say, I'm your buddy. You my buddy? Okay, you can be my buddy. I can't touch you, though. My hands are clean. Like I said, you want to go about a 1/4 inch up in the neck. I do have one of the wands that goes on the end of your auto siphon. I just like to do it this way. I find it easier. I find this process kind of relaxing anyway. If I was doing 1,000 bottles, it would be nice to have one of them big machines, but doing small batch winery, and the way most people at home is going to be doing it, is exactly the way I'm doing it right here. In your larger facilities, though, you would have there would be a machine doing what I'm doing. Like I said, homemade winemaking, the way I'm doing it, or with a wand and an auto siphon, is the way most people that's watching this video will be doing their own homemade wine. And that's the purpose of this video, for educational purposes. That glass might be thawed out by the time I get 12 bottles, get a case done. That's how many labels I got done, and by then I'll have to tilt this thing. Are you in the video again? So I'm here, Diddy. Okay, buddy, you can be in the video. Ain't that pretty? Pretty, pretty. I do say so myself. Like I said, you want to make sure you put the seams on the edge. You don't want to put your label across one of the seams on the bottle because you don't want wrinkles in your label. And if you're making it for your own home purposes, you can reuse bottles. You just want to make sure you sanitize them and wash them good. All these have been run through the dishwasher, even though they are new bottles. But if you're reusing bottles, you want to make sure you sanitize them and wash them good before you reuse them. And you don't have to put labels on them, but you need to make sure they're marked so you know what's in, what kind of wine's in them. I mean, if you're the one consuming them, you don't have to put a label on them. But that's up to you. You're making your own homemade wine. That's your choice. But it's not good to store any kind of wine without a label on it. Because you get multiple batches, you'll be confused of what's what. And just So you can see, I put on the label 15% alcohol, the vintage 2022 Muscadine Blush. So this is winemaker's notes, so you can write on there what you have. Like I said, if you're making it for your own personal use, you don't have to do that, but you should label what you make so that you don't get confused of what you have. I don't know if that glass is going to thaw out or not. Where's the seam at? Where's the seam? Last label I got ready. All right, y'all got to help me bottle a case of Muscadine Blush. Well, I guess I could go on and tilt the thing. I take a phone book and set up under here just so I can tilt it. And these bottles are a little bit shorter than this case. That don't make no difference though. Are you saying hello to the camera? So I like to be in the video. You like to be in the video? You saying hello to everybody? Say I'm their buddy. You're their buddy? Okay. Tell them, say it ain't drinking alone as long as the dog's home. Ain't that right, Chief? That's right,